Hello, Ranger Nation.
And welcome.
Welcome here. Here we go. Coming to you live from Rooster, set next to my good friend James Fortner as we get ready to bring you the final episode of the 2025-2026 school year Ranger Rundown.
And it's been an incredible ride, an absolute fantastic year. We're ending on the highest possible note as we're going to be surrounded by regional medalists and state qualifiers this evening with the boys and girls track. And we're going to look back at the historic meet that they had out in Lubbock and look forward to the meet that's coming up in Austin. Plus, we get to sit down with Principal Nate Bridges and talk about the banner year we've had here at Greenwood High School this year.
I tell you what, I can't break it. It's Coach Bridges. I just can't break it. I grew up. His dad coached in Slayton, coached my little brother. I reffed his dad.
Wow.
In basketball. So I've known the Bridges family for a long time, and man, I tell you, Mr. Bridges is always going to be Coach Bridges. I just can't shake it. Can't do something different. So yeah, James, it's been a great year. It's been a lot of fun. Kind of looking back. We're going to hit some accolades and accomplishments towards the end of the episode. But man, it really has been a great year, and we really do get to see a kind of a cap it all off with some kids that are really hitting their stride and performing at high levels here going into the state track meet. So gather around the campfire for one more go around because it's Ranger Rundown time.
Hey, the rundown, covering Greenwood sports, the rundown, giving our athletes support, the rundown, showing their quest for gold, the rundown, their team stories are told, the rundown, putting a face to the names, our GHS athletes playing the game. Think you all know, hands up and let's go. Can you feel the flow? Let's get into the show.
Okay, we're back and we've got girls track. James, have you ever felt slower in your life?
No.
I tell you what.
Daily I feel slower, but they're not helping.
And I tell you what. So we sit down next. We've got Addison Adame, Sydney Click, and in the back there we've got freshman Andrea Bear. Ladies, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you giving us some time. I know y'all have got to get to cheerleading, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can't get you guys in and out. Make sure you got that mic up to your mouth whenever you say something.
Awesome. Hey, this group went to Lubbock and they made a statement, posted the fastest overall time in the region during the prelims with a 141.86 and brought home the silver medal to punch your ticket to state. Quite a race.
That's some fast times right there. Addison, you want to jump in here and go first?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Addie, I got to watch you make a deep run in the playoffs for soccer.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. 2 different sports. But, mentally, kind of, how did that deep soccer playoff run help you in preparing for the track meet last week?
It kind of got me into that team mentality, like going from 11 players on the field to 4 people running. It got me to create bonds and connections that helped us pass the baton.
Awesome. Hey, how did you manage the mental aspect required to switch between the different relays? Or is it different?
I think so. I think it's definitely since there's different people, it's all different mentalities. But I think we all just try to stay positive in that aspect.
Awesome.
All right, Sydney. So before we get to this question, I always ask. I try to ask seniors, what are your plans going into the future, right? And we talked a little bit because you did a lot of the football stuff, right? So we got to goof around a little bit before games and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I know that you're going to Corpus Christi A&M, right? But a little bird told me that you're just not going to go there to learn meteorology, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be doing something else. Or why don't you tell everybody what just happened for you?
I just got recruited to run all sprints at A&M Corpus.
All right. So
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank
It shows
you.
the hard work that you've kind of put into it, right?
Definitely.
And definitely, the big district meet that you had, getting that, that gold medal and kind of, giving it to a little bit of the Andrews girls, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I looked at the scores. I saw where those placements was, and I puffed my check out and said, "That's right, Sydney. You show them, right?"
Oh, yeah.
All right, Sydney. What does it mean to you to finish your career at the biggest stage in the state of Texas?
Well, first off, I'm just blessed by the fact we made it to state. It's a really big honor. Not everybody gets to do it. And I'm just glad because I think we're a good group of girls to go, and I'm glad to go. And I'm just excited to be on the UT track. I love it. That's been my favorite track to run on, and I love running with these girls, and I'm just glad that I get to have one more race with them.
All right.
That's fantastic. Hey, how do you've been through a lot of track seasons. Can you describe maybe how the difference between the different relays and different teams and the chemistry with this specific team that you're running with this coming weekend?
Mm-hmm. I think it definitely helps that all of us are a little bit closer than in age, rather than having 3 freshmen and a senior, or 2 sophomores and a senior and a junior. So I just think it's a lot easier because we've all bonded through multiple sports. Majority of our team are multi-sport athletes, like Addie and Jazz do soccer. So I think having all of us just taking care of each other constantly is what really brings us together, because we're always looking out for each other, always making sure we're all hydrated for sure, and just have everything. So I think definitely just caring for each other is what makes a team better.
Okay. Andrew, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was just sitting here, looking at the makeup of the team. We got 2 seniors, a sophomore, and a freshman. So, 2 of you guys are coming back, 2 of you guys aren't. But that's kind of a big deal. Freshman year going to state, right?
Yes, sir.
Andrew, what does it mean to you to make the trip to state with the girls on the relay team?
It really does mean a lot to go, and I really do look up to Sydney and Ava, so I'm just glad that I get to run with them one last time, and I think this is a really big opportunity for all of us, and I'm just really excited.
What's the biggest difference mentally in running a relay compared to running 300 hurdles? Is there a different mentality that you have to have?
Yes, I feel like for the relay, like I'm first leg, so I feel like I need to get my team like with a good lead and just start off strong. That way they can keep on and carry it. And then for like the 300s, I kind of dread the 300s, but I just
good answer.
Yeah, I just go out there and hope I can make it over every hurdle and beat them.
Yeah, so there, I look back on, when I was in school, and the 300 hurdles, the 800-meter run, and the pole vault were just things that I thought you had to be a little crazy to do, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm not making fun of anybody. I ran the 800, so I had to be a little bit crazy,
Yes, sir.
myself. But those 300 hurdles, you and Dylan, man, I don't know, that takes a special person to do that event.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's say. Kind of for the group, if one of you guys want to answer this question, go ahead, or both y'all, however y'all want to do it. But, looking back, at the race from regionals, what is the number one goal for y'all heading into practice this week to try to shave off time off of that 141?
I think like for us, we're definitely working on our handoffs a lot. Just making sure we have those reps and having our steps where we need to be. I think also, like, having us together is just also helping us, like, prepare for state. Like, all of us, we've been doing things together and just getting together and hyping ourselves up for state.
Well, I know one of the things, and I don't know if somebody wants to add to that, but, there's also a focus on y'all, right? You've gone from a team of 60 girls to a team of 4 girls on the track. All the coaches are there. They're all focused, laser focused on this one thing. So, yeah. Did you want to add anything, Sydney? Or
I totally agree with Addie, honestly. Handoffs are always the hardest because, it's always going to be hard to trust somebody coming in. You never really know anything. You just have to go with the flow. And so we've been through a full season, and now that we're at state, it's getting a little bit nervous, but we're so used to this. I think we're going to do really good because we've been constantly hammering the handoffs. So we're going to do good.
Okay.
Awesome. So when you guys look at the state rankings and see yourselves in the mix with the best in Texas, what's your motto going into that state meet? Andrew, how about you? You hadn't got to answer one yet. Do you have a motto?
I think just stay humble and run the best you can. Just run for each other, and yeah.
That's great.
Did you practice that answer? That was
an
great
excellent answer for not practicing.
That was a great answer. I loved it. Yeah,
especially since us just like threw it in her lap.
Either one of y'all want to take a stab at that since y'all passed it off to the freshmen? No? Okay.
Like your answer.
All right. I know y'all got to go, but let's hit some rapid fire before we get out of here. So you're going to have to share the mic a little bit between the two of you guys. Who is the most likely on the relay team to fall asleep on the long bus ride to Austin?
Addie.
I think Addie.
Addie's going to be the first one to sleep. All right. What's your go-to breakfast?
Pancakes.
Oatmeal.
I guess bacon.
Bacon. What kind of oatmeal? Not just like plain boring oatmeal, right?
Peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream.
There you
I can
go.
see that about you. I can see that. Who is the most intense when they run?
Like on the relay.
Yeah, on the relay. Out of y'all relay, the relay girls. Even Ava, even though she's not here.
I think Sid. She's intense.
definitely Sydney. She's very.
She's the one. She's dialed in and focused. All right. Give me one word to describe this relay team.
Togetherness. I don't know.
Okay.
Energetic.
Okay. I can feel that coming off of you right now. How about you, Andrew?
New.
New. Fair enough. Yeah, you're going to be the kind of a new leg here this time, right? So you got to work on those handoffs. All right. So, girls, good luck. I mean, that's such a huge deal making it to state. And I don't know, there's got to be enough people up here patting you on the back and telling you how big and great that is to do that. I want to be one of them. That's just so tremendous. There's not a lot of people get to do it. And it's so fun watching you girls go out there and take everybody else's name and put them to the side. And so I wish you guys the best of luck at state. Go up there, compete, show them what being from Greenwood is all about. Couldn't be more proud of you guys. Can I get a hand for our relay team? All right, stick with us. Next up, we got some boys talk about some track.
And welcome back to Ranger Rundown. And sitting with us is the boys track 4x400 meter relay team. We are joined by Dylan Payton, Erin Carrillo, Kason Brooks, and Andrick Rodriguez. Guys, welcome to the stage.
Thanks for coming in. Talk about just a clutch performance. At the meet, you guys show up, final event. You guys have been out there all day, and I know that's got a little bit difficult. Is you got to sit and watch everybody else do everything and run and do all this stuff, and you're sitting there just waiting. I know that's a little mental taxing on you guys, but man, y'all came out there last race of the day. You shave off 4 seconds from your prelim time, and you take second place with a 3:19. That's just
That's turning it up.
Yeah, that says something about your mental toughness, your desire to be there, and that's just a great performance. Congratulations, you guys, for punching your ticket to state. Before we kind of get some of the individual questions, there's a couple of you guys on here that have been on probably about as many Ranger rundowns as I have, right? Dylan and Kason, you guys have been coming on here for 3 years, and every time I think it's the last time I'm going to see you guys up here doing something, you guys come up and see me, one more time. And so I really think this is probably the last time I get to talk to you guys on the rundown, as student athletes. Maybe you guys come back as coaches or something like that at some point in time. But, I really appreciate you guys coming on, the character that you've shown over the last 3 years, and the way you've picked up your teammates and just represented Greenwood over the last 3 years. I really appreciate that, and I want to share that with you. I think you're two amazing young men, and I wish you nothing but the best as you go forward. We're going to kick it off with Dylan, since you are the person that's been on the show the most, I think, over the last 3 years. Dylan, after the dust settled last weekend, how did it feel knowing that you would be going to the state meet in not just one event, but 3 events?
It felt great, just all the hard work we put in over the season and making it in a field event this year. I haven't done that in the last 3 years that we've been, so that was awesome to see. And having a new coach, Coach Jordan, it was great that he got to experience it too, being the first year here, that he got to have one of his jumpers go. But I thought it was awesome. All props to the coaches, just giving us great workouts, giving us the workouts that we need to get better each week, know when to push us, when to not. So I think it's great, and props to the coaches for that.
Good answer. I like it.
Dylan, you lead off the 4x4. After a weekend that's full of hurdles and jumping in field events, where do you find the energy and the extra gear to lead off that 400-meter relay?
That's just a different race. Just however tired you are when you go into that, it's just you're with 3 other guys that just want to win. And that one, I could tell we all just wanted to win, so I had to make sure I put my best effort out there. And I think that's just what it was, just not wanting to lose, just like last year not making it, just wanted to make it this year and make the other guys proud. So
Awesome, Bob.
All right, Aaron, you ready? All right, we're going to pick on you next. That 4-second drop in time is just unheard of. I mean, people don't shave off 4 seconds at the next to last track meet in the year. When you look back on that preparation for that race, what do you think what strategy or what do you think happened that really led to that huge improvement?
I think after getting fourth in prelims, we knew what was expected of us to be able to make that jump from fourth to second in finals. So going into it, we just had the right mindset to be able to shave 4 seconds off and qualify for state.
Okay.
Aaron, you've competed in everything from hurdles to pole vault this year. How has that versatility prepared you for the pressure of this state meet, do you think?
I think it's helped me stay ready. And like when we were in Austin for the Texas relays, the weather was a big factor. So just being able to adapt to different things that are thrown our way throughout the meet is something that I've learned from doing many events that all are different.
Awesome, Bob.
Okay. Kason, your turn. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was going through your mind as the race was going on, and at what point did you realize that you guys were going to go to state?
I guess run fast, turn left. But the biggest thing was trying to cut down a couple seconds or not a couple seconds, but cut down my time from prelims. It wasn't really my best race, and I knew if we wanted to make it to state, had to, do a little bit better.
What leg are you running?
Third.
Unless
Coach Burchett says something different.
Second, fourth? You're anchored? Okay. Yeah,
No.
so you got to turn left, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. But as far as knowing when, like, we had won the race, like when we were going to state, just handing off to Andrick in first, or handing off to Andrick in front of West Plains was the big thing. I knew he could keep the lead, and I know he has the ability to tough it out till the end, make sure we get that second place spot.
Awesome.
Hey, that's any 400 meter is a tough race. Is there anything from your mindset that you bring over from your football experience into the track season to help in this?
I guess you could say, I mean, I don't really know how to say this other than just grit,
Yeah.
Just big thing is practice, you got to put your best effort in practice, running, football, any of those things, it requires a lot of effort beforehand, a lot of preparation.
Kason, I love that answer. That is a better answer than I ever thought I'd get when I wrote that question down for you. Man, and any of the young guys out there that are paying attention, take that answer he just gave you, write it down on a piece of paper, stick it on your mirror in your bathroom, and look at it every day. Because these guys weren't champions because of what they did on the track. These guys were champions what they did at practice. And that's where the difference is made, and that's where champions are built. And that's just a great answer. So appreciate that. All right, Andrew, tough question to follow up, man. You think you got a better answer than that in your bag?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm the rookie here, man.
Andrew, what do you do right before that big race to get mentally ready?
Funny or not, I don't stretch, but Burchett likes to get onto me and tells me to stretch every time. So he tells me about like 2 or 3 times. But when I'm down on the field, I try and look for my mom. She kind of calms me down. I have big trust in my team, to put me in a position to win, if not, make the podium. So I'd say just it's more mentally preparing than physically, because 400's a hard race,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It is a hard race.
So as you're running your leg there, what's going through your mind as you're coming down and you're getting ready to cross that finish line, knowing you're getting ready to go to state? What's going through your mind?
I was scared at first, because last year we had a little heartbreaking finish of the race. But I saw the West Plains guy, like his shadow, and I was so scared. I was like, I don't want to get hawked down, but I passed the finish line, and I was happy. And then I looked at them, and none of them were like celebrating. So I was like, what's going on? And I was confused for a little bit, but yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. All right, guys, got a group question for you. Kind of like the same thing with the girls you saw. Whoever wants to answer, feel free. Kind of however y'all want to do it. If multiple people want to answer, that's great. The 4x4 is the grand finale of the state meet. It's what everybody stays to watch. How do you guys plan to spend, those hours at the stadium waiting before it's your turn to run? What are y'all going to do?
I don't know.
Kind of the big thing is just stretching throughout the day and resting. the humidity in Austin definitely gets to you, especially when you have an event so late in the day. You know, that heat and humidity kind of saps the strength, so you have to, be mindful about that.
A lot of water the day before. A lot of water the day before. Drink up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else? No.
Great
Okay.
answer.
All right. Good answer.
All right, guys, if you could tell young Rangers out there watching tonight one thing about what it takes to reach the state level, what would it be?
Definitely just that practice does matter. You can't slack in practice and expect to perform good on meet day or game day or whatever it might be. That in football, track, whatever sport it is, you got to actually put in the work at practice and sometimes stay after, do whatever it takes to get better or whatever level you're looking to get to. You can't really become a champion unless you're putting in the hours and putting in the work that you need to get better.
Absolutely.
All right. Anybody else?
I would agree. I mean, last year I wasn't on the 4x4, but knowing that, like what Dylan was saying, that putting in hours of like hard work is able to get you somewhere like this. Like I wouldn't have thought that I would be going to state for the 4x4 last year. I think that it is a testament to what working hard in practice can do.
Well, before we let you guys get out of here, y'all ready for some rapid fire? All right, here we go. Who is the funniest on the relay team?
It's me.
Andrew's the funniest. All right. What's the best thing about track meets?
Winning.
Winning. All right.
I like winning is a good answer. Yeah,
Winning.
yeah.
Winning. All right.
That's right. After winning.
Yeah.
Not the bus ride up there.
No.
In one word, use one word to describe this relay team. Old.
Yeah, old. You got 3 seniors, and Andrew's, I guess, the youngest part of this team, but he's already been on here.
Yeah, he looks kind of old though.
I don't see it.
Maybe a little bit. Looks like you guys might have aged him a little bit.
Hearing him fight all the time.
All right, so not which event is your best or which event is your favorite, but which event is your favorite to watch? What event do you like to watch?
Probably the 400.
400. How about you, Andrew?
100 meter.
100 meter.
I like the 4x1.
Okay.
I actually like watching the 300 hurdle. Well, I should say actually any of the hurdles, either one of the hurdles.
Yeah, I like the hurdles too.
Any
There's
event Dylan's running.
Any event that Dylan's running. Guys, thank you for coming on. I've watched you guys show your speed off in a lot of different sports and stuff like that. Man, I think you guys are going to do great. I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys compete and what times you put up. And I know that you guys are going to rep Greenwood the best that we could be repped. So good luck, congratulations. So really, really proud of you guys.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, we got Coach Bridges, Principal Bridges, going to talk a little bit about the school year, wrap up with that. So stick with us. Okay, so wrapping up this final episode of the Rundown, we've got Coach Bridges, Principal Nate Bridges, sitting in with us. Coach, I appreciate you. That's going to be Coach forever. I can't not call it, but
I've been called a lot worse this week.
I bet you have. Coach, thanks for kind of filling in kind of towards the end. We were going to have Coach Hill on, but he had a prior engagement with a banquet,
Absolutely.
so we appreciate you taking time out.
Absolutely.
And kind of giving us a different route to go here at the end to wrap things up, because we do talk a lot of sports on here, but Greenwood and the school and our community is not just about, sports. It's about, the kids and developing them and preparing them for future. So kind of we'll talk a little bit of, ask you some questions, and we'll go into, maybe some accolades and achievements. And then we'll talk a little
Absolutely.
bit about what you've seen in the classroom this year.
Yeah.
And so everyone can kind of know how well their kids are doing at school. So,
Absolutely. A lot of great things to talk about.
all right, James, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Coach, what is the best part of your job?
I think what we're getting to sit here and watch and listen to tonight, just watching our students at the pinnacle of what they do. We've got our track athletes that are going to be representing us at the state level next week. We've still got over 60 band students going to represent us in the summertime at the state level for solo and ensemble. We've got a couple of UIL contenders in debate and state pros that are going to represent us next week. And then we've got a debate team that's going to nationals in Richmond, Virginia in June. And so I'm sure I left somebody off, but I think my favorite part of my job is just seeing, I sat and talked with our top 10%, believe it was last week, and just looking around the room, those are our top students and students that have worked very hard for what they've got. And this isn't the pinnacle of any. We're going to graduate over 190 next week, and it's not the pinnacle of any of their lives. But just looking around, seeing, these guys are at the top of their class, but they do so much more within our schools. And I think that's the most rewarding thing, is that, while our jobs are focused on trying to make sure that they're as ready as they can be for life after high school, they got so much else going on, as they should, within that high school career to get the most out of it. And just seeing, not only has this kid maxed it out academically, but they figured it out athletically or in ag or this, and just seeing while they're maximizing their potential, they're also branching out to, where they're going to go in life. So that's a very broad answer to your question, but my absolute favorite part of that is seeing each one of those kids figure out what exactly that looks like, and then seeing what that success looks like for that kid.
Yeah, one of the things I always liked best about my job was seeing the light bulb go off for young people, starting their careers and stuff.
Absolutely.
That was always something pretty cool that I got to see.
Absolutely.
Coach, I mentioned knowing, your dad and your family when you were younger, and I've gotten to meet your wonderful family here.
Yeah.
And man, just talk about a family that's all about Greenwood.
Oh,
And, what does it mean to you and your family to be a part of this community?
I think it's why we came here. Growing up in an educator's family, we always knew about Greenwood, and we had some great stops along the way with my dad being a coach and my mom being an educator. But, I can remember being younger than my kids, and we come to a basketball game, and I didn't see any of the game because we're in the back gym that we have right now playing with other kids in the gym. And so, we came here for family and for faith and for values, and have found vocation in that. And it's just a place that, it's special. I'm sure there's other places that are just as special, but there's no place that's better as far as, raising a family and trusting that, I'm invested in my kids' education. I want good for them, but knowing that where I'm sending them to school in different campuses than mine, leadership from the top down to our teachers that we're able to put in front of them, everybody's got a vested interest in kid success.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Coach, how's the construction project going on right now at the high school and other campuses?
I'm going to say it's awesome. I'm going to say it's awesome. We got to walk through last week our CTE wing, and I'm going to call it a wing because it's not all of our CTE programs, but we'll be set to open up next school year our new construction spaces for wood shop and welding, as well as cosmetology and culinary. And but just what that place is going to bring, as far as all the banquets that we're hosting this time of year, having a separate space that's going to be really nice to be able to do that, and having state of the art things that we're able to do. When you're looking at what does that open up for everything else, getting out of portable life, it's able to move our ag program out to the existing shops to be able for them to have room and to do ag things and things like that. And so, I think messiness has become the norm, but it's also, I don't know, it's indicative to our culture. Like I'm thinking about, Dylan and that group and the girls that were up here, like our folks just don't get flustered about stuff. We want a good product. We know our family and community deserves a good product, but we're not really scared of just like Kaysen was up here saying a minute ago about grit. Like you don't just go from what you got existing in a building without some messiness to construction. And our kids have been absolutely resilient with that. We've got wood up in the hallways. Stuco came to me earlier this year, the Savage girls, wondering if they could paint on the walls and make it more, presentable and things like that. We've got missing ceiling tiles, wires hanging out while they're doing stuff, but kids just go around business as usual and understand the end product of that. And so we're really excited about that. We got informed yesterday. I'm going to be out of an office. My admin team's going to be out of an office next year. To start the year, we're going to turn that into 4 new classrooms. And so making space for that and having more room for our kids, absolutely amazing. So I think, when you're talking to me a year from this Christmas, when we're on, the very end of it, it's going to be absolutely amazing. A little messy right now, but everybody's handled it with a grain of salt and understands the process. So it's been great and going to be great.
So the young Todd just heard that I can't get sent to the principal's office.
That's right.
That's what I just heard.
Well, I guess we're going to have rolly carts and we'll be everywhere. We'll get it figured out. But
that's good stuff.
uh-huh.
Coach, just appreciate everything you do up at that school. You know that. We've had those conversations. You're just a great guy up there, and I appreciate you bleeding for those kids.
Well,
and you investing in them.
And I appreciate that. But my job's easy. My job's to make sure that our adults, which we have tremendous adults, but I was able to share this in an interview that I had today, is we need you at your best capacity, which means interested in what you're doing for the benefit of our students, for whatever you're doing, and just seeing our adults with the passion that they've got and what they bring to school every day for the benefit of our kids. There's nothing to go wrong. It makes my job extremely easy.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to hit some accomplishments.
Absolutely.
You want to jump in, you can at any point in time, and then we'll hit some academic stuff.
Yeah.
But, Coach Thomas does such a great job of putting stuff out on Facebook and X and Insta, whatever it is that you're looking at. He does such a great job of promoting our kids.
Yep.
But you see so much of that coming in. And I thought, over the year, maybe we could go back and kind of just talk a little bit about what our student athletes have accomplished here, in athletics and different things like that. So, through the course of the year, we had 2 district championships: boys football, boys track, not boys football, but football and boys track. We had district runner-ups in girls cross country, volleyball, boys basketball, girls soccer, baseball. We had 2 teams make it to the regional semifinals. The football team made it, and then the girls soccer team advanced farther than they've ever done in the past, made it to the regional semifinals before being knocked out. We had 7 all-state players, 6 football players, 1 volleyball player be recognized at the all-state level. We had 15 all-district superlatives, including 2 overall district MVPs. That was volleyball and football. We had 40 first-team all-district players, 30 second-team all-district players, 56 academic all-district, 19 all-state academic. We had Lincoln Madrid won the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week in football. Coach Hill won the THSCA Coach of the Year for football.
Yes, he did.
Emily Jones was named the Dave Campbell's Female Basketball Player of the Week. We had 1-act play and band both advanced to regionals.
Yes, they did.
Cheer, 6th in state. Best they've done in several years, but they got 6th in state. We had 13 individuals qualify for state in track, cross country, powerlifting, and film. Shout out to Nathan for that film one.
That's right.
School records broken. Dylan Payton, most points in a football game, receiving yards in a football game. The 300 hurdles and the long jump, school records this year. Emily Jones, points in a basketball game, career volleyball assists, and most goals in a soccer game. Kalani Weeks set the school record for the 200 meters. Andrew Bear set the record for the 300 hurdles. Jaslyn Segalas set the record for the 400 meters. Andrick Rodriguez broke his own record again for the 400 meters. Jack Ledford broke a 45-year record in the 3,200 meter. The boys 4x1 and the boys 4x2 set school records. The girls 4x2 and the girls 4x4 set school records.
Yep.
And that's a lot of information. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of people who did a lot of amazing things. And I know I missed 20 kids, and I apologize for every kid that I missed. But I tried to get an all comprehensive list. If I can think of something else, I'll get Coach Thomas to put out some kind of correction on where I messed up. But Coach, that's a lot of stuff that you see there, kind of on the athletic side.
Oh, absolutely, and I think you can. Athletics amazing. All of our academic stuff, absolutely amazing. All of our ag FFA stuff, absolutely amazing. And so, we're at the board meeting last week, and one of our typical May board meetings is recognizing everybody that's made it to the state level of whatever organization that they represent, and takes forever. which is absolutely amazing because that's what kind of caliber of competition that our kids are going with, whether it's academics, athletics, and all the rest of it. But what I would say to all of that is I like to compare that to our front door. You know, when you drive by somebody's house, you don't really know what's going on in the house, but you can see everybody's front door. And so I think to everything and to all of our kids, when they go and compete, doesn't matter what it is, we're doing a good job with that. And the kids aren't just going and competing, but they're going and winning. And every time that a record gets set, whatever it is, academic, athletic, the next group of students and athletes and academic folks that we have is trying to up that bar and go meet that. And so I think back to the front door analogy, that's what everybody sees through all of this. And then when you get in the house, then you got your rooms, you've got your histories and your sciences and your maths and your Englishes. But the front door of all of that, when the front door stuff is good, when the front door looks good, man, it makes everything else in that house look good. And I would say vice versa. They both feed on each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. But when you start the year, and I'm just going to brag on Coach Hill for a minute, when you've got a guy over your athletic helm that hangs in his coach's hallway, we do a teacher of the week every week, and it's voted on by staff and students. And he takes pride in his coaches that are also all of our coaches teach, and every coach teacher that earns that honor, he hangs it in the hallway. And when you got that expectation of we're going to be good in everything we do. And when you start the year with the leadership that we had, with the football season that we had, with the fall sports seasons that we've had, man, that just bleeds into the hallways and it bleeds into the classrooms, and success breeds success, and it doesn't matter what it is. And what I would say to that too is our kids know how to compete with each other and with programs in a healthy way. In that it's that iron sharpens iron mentality. They use each other, they feed off each other with that, but it's not a competing at the detriment of one another. We know that we're still at a spot that we've got to share kids for everybody to be successful, but the adults do it in a way, and the kids are committed enough to be able to do that. And so where you've got that iron sharpens iron, you've got that constant push to be as best as you can. And so that's what I would commend. Our coaching staff, all of our teachers, but also our kids being able to accept that and say, all right, here's where we were. Good job. Now let's keep reaching that next pinnacle.
Yeah, I mean, the future's bright.
Absolutely.
Right. And as much as we like to watch athletics and see kids compete, it's how they developed. What kind of tree have they turned into while they're here to prepare them for that next step? And so, I'm proud of Greenwood. I'm proud to be a part of this community, and I'm proud of our kids and everything that we put out there. So, Coach, is there anything that you want to add, maybe some accomplishments? I know you talked about the debate team going to nationals. You got anything else you want to talk about, maybe some things that we've seen in the classroom or something?
No, I just, I would like to, we had an Excellence in Education dinner the other night. It's through Midland County, and they recognize each campus gets to vote on a Teacher of the Year and an Unsung Hero of the Year, amidst other awards. But it's big. They hold it over at the Bush Center. It's packed. We only get spaces for 5 people per school. But I would like to brag on Ramona Griffin, who's one of our English teachers. She teaches pre-AP English for us. She also does a lot of other administrative things for us. She won our award. She was staff voted for Teacher of the Year for Greenwood High School. But then she's also selected as Teacher of the Year for entire Midland County, and we'll have a chance to advance moving forward. And so I would like to recognize her, but I would also like to recognize her as a piece of so many other different pieces of adults that they're in the profession for the right reasons. They work hard for our kids. They don't see themselves as the leader, the bulldozer over the kids, but have as much to learn as the student that's sitting across from them. And I think we've got a building full of folks, and I would say a district full of folks that are of that mindset. And I think, that's why we get to talk about the good things that we get to talk about. That's
great. I'm glad you brought that up. Congratulations to Miss Griffin. I know she's Hannah, I think, had her for 3 years in a row. So it's definitely, she definitely had an impact, on my oldest one.
Yeah,
so
she does a lot for us.
Yeah. So, and we'll see kind of what that looks like maybe next year, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What you learned from that.
Absolutely.
Coach, you ready for some rapid fire?
I'm always ready.
Okay, here we go. What is the best school event of the year for you?
Graduation.
Yeah?
I think, and I say that in a good way. I'm always energized by you get to summertime and you're in a building by yourself with those that you work with, getting ready for the next year and things like that. But it's in the midst of the summer that you realize and you kind of get that refreshness of I do what I do to have a building full of kids. My job's not meant to be done in an empty building, and so I'm always ready to get kids back. I love our extracurriculars and things that we do. We do things like iServe, where it's an impossible task that Ms. Griffin, Ms. Rybolt put together of taking 1,000 kids and going and servicing different organizations, nonprofits across the greater, Midland and Odessa area. Love all of that. Love our life skills day, our relays and things like that. But I think bar none, seeing those kids walk across the stage and shaking their hand and knowing like you did a good job, you made it, understanding that this isn't it for you guys. Like some of you guys are going to workforce, some of you guys are going to school. Some of you guys got it. Some of you guys, took a little long to get there. We may be limping across a little bit, but we're going to get there. But that's bar none. My favorite day is getting to shake their hand walking across the stage.
I can see that. What are you most excited about for the future?
Yeah, I think I think where we get to go, and this is going to be abstract thought, but part of it is getting the construction done. But as we grow, like looking at, okay, are we ever going to get construction done?
Yeah.
But looking at, I think two things. We're bigger than we've ever been right now as a district, but I think we are extremely unique in the way that we approach mindset in our district. That's built on faith and values, and I think meshing that to make sure as we grow that the people we're putting in front of our students have that mentality and that want that for themselves and for their kids, but. I think the challenge in that of as we can we do Greenwood like Greenwood's always been done, and my answer is always yes, yes, and then some, because truly believe our parents want that, our community wants that, and so I think even if you look at as you grow and start to think big school and things like that, the way that we do things enables us to be able to be set up for success for our kids with that mindset.
All right. Favorite meal at the cafeteria?
Oh, it's got to be Miss Dottie's mashed potatoes.
Okay, mashed potatoes.
Number one. If you hadn't had Miss Dottie's mashed potatoes, you guys need to come by. Well, and she's not going to get you a little bit. You're going to get a double scoop.
You shoot me a text, and I'll come up there and have lunch with you one day.
And she's probably going to yell at you too, but that's okay.
Well, you know what? If you're not getting yelled at in a lunch line, you're not doing it right.
Absolutely. And so if the mashed potatoes... If they don't have that solid top coat of butter on the top, they're not Miss Dottie's. Okay. So you got to have that like grandma top butter, mashed potatoes and gravy.
All right.
Hands down.
All right. Last one. One word to describe the class of 26.
Yeah, I said it a minute ago. Resilient. I think it'd be real easy to be sour grapes on why do we have to finish with construction, or why this or why that, or why don't we get the nice stuff and things like that. You don't hear any of that. And I think part of that may be just because I don't hear it, but that's not indicative of our students and of our population. Our kids roll with what they got. They want good for themselves. Their families want good for them. But I think what you just heard out of some athletes up here is folks that understand the process on things, and folks that are also outside of themselves. They see themselves as part of it, but not, the quintessential midpoint of everything. And so I think with that mindset like that, they roll business as usual. And so I think through any sports season you had injuries you dealt with this year, you had sickness you dealt with this year, and they approach it with a strong mindset and don't let it make them take steps back and things. And so I would say that's extremely indicative of how they've handled this.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Before we get to the outro, appreciate you coming in. Appreciate your time, the words you said. And I got to tell you, it was great having someone 6'6" with some facial hair that I didn't have to carry through the whole segment.
I think that's a compliment.
Normally with someone that's 6'6" sits down at this table, I'm having to carry him through the next hour. Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. I got to get if he's not going to be here, I get to get my digs in. That's how it goes.
That's fair. I just was making sure the carrying comment didn't take on too much weight.
Yeah, Okay. Well, he's a little bit bigger than you, so a little bit.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Hey, to all our athletes heading to Austin, go represent the blue and white with everything you got. and we'll be watching you.
As we wrap up this third season, we want to thank Roosters Backyard for providing a home for our broadcasts. They're great. Every year gets a little bit better. You get these TVs behind us. They're just great people. They love Greenwood. We appreciate their support. We also want to thank our sponsors, the ones that we've had this year, the ones that we're going to have next year. We got some cool stuff coming up during football season. So we appreciate you guys helping us put together some good content. And on behalf of James, Josh, who's not here, and myself, I want to take the opportunity to thank Coach Thomas and his kids for all the hard work that they do put together in the background. Really makes our lives easier for us to be able to do stuff for you. But man, those kids put in work all year, and I want a big shout out to them. And then lastly, I would like to thank Coach Hill for coming up with the concept of the Ranger Rundown, and then allowing James and Josh now to stumble through it and be idiots up here, once a week or once a month, and just be a part of what's going on at Greenwood. And we really appreciate that. And then finally, thanks to all Ranger Nation for your support, for our students and for you guys turning in. Josh and I will see you back at the end of summer to kick off season number 4. Until then, we hope all Ranger Nation has a great summer. God bless.